The Skull Champion is not your enemy. We've all seen it before in a Roblox zombie game. The humans team is completely annihilating the zombie team for 10 minutes straight. Then suddenly some big buff zombie appears and immediately tips the game in the zombies' favor. The most notoriously hated example of this is the Skull Champion from Reason to Die Awakening, who many credit as the scapegoat for Reason to Die's downfall. But what if I told you that the Skull Champion is merely a glorified figurehead for a terribly dated game mechanic that dates back to over a decade ago? Let's talk about it. Reason to Die had countless problems during its life cycle, dating all the way back to the very beginning. But, in terms of the straw that broke the camel's back, there were quite a few easy ones to point out. You have the encouraged spawn killing, the jetpack, and of course, the Skull Champion. The Skull Champion in Roblox Reason to Die was infuriating, because it was simply a band-aid fix for the amount of spawn killing. It seemed to be intended to punish the toxic players, but it ended up hurting everybody, even the people who were just playing the game normally. Now, a lot of players seem to deem the Skull Champion as the fall guy here, and, well, I mean, it makes sense, because the Skull Champion was meant to stop spawn killing, and in that action it only promoted it more by shed farming, a method in where you try to trap the Skull Champion in a shed by disabling all other zombie spawns except for the one inside of a titular shed, that of which the Skull Champion was way too tall for the tiny shed, so its body would be stuck in the ceiling and be unable to move. However, if we take a look back throughout the long history of the Roblox zombie genre, you can clearly see that the Skull Champion is not entirely to blame here. So, let's take a step back and start from the beginning. The original Reason to Die dates all the way back to 2008 and had the same issue of the zombies basically being useless, until the titular tank spawned, a massive, muscular zombie that would mess up any survivor's day. And this pattern repeated in the 2012 and the 2014 version, albeit the 2014 version was super survivor-sided, so the tank was taken a lot less seriously, unless the entire zombie team bought them all at once. But besides Reason to Die, if we look back at plenty of other zombie games throughout Roblox's entire history, you start to see a pattern here. Left 4 Survival has the tank, the Undead Coming remake has the tank, Dead Slate has the Overlord, Mutation has the super zombies, even the doo-doo fart Those Who Remain has a tank. So yeah, the Skull Champion mechanic is by no means a brand new idea that the devs just conjured up while they were eating lunch one day. If anything, it's an incredibly dated mechanic, so don't shit on the Skull Champion. It isn't his fault that he was born to fill that role. The Skull Champion mechanic, I guess that's what I'll call it because why not, is a seriously old mechanic that's unhealthy for basically every game that it's in. It's pretty much only there because of how old that it is, not because it actually works. It's about as stupid as the addition of a normal zombie, aka a zombie that can't do anything except M1. Like if everybody just took a second to stop and think to themselves, hey, are these mechanics a good idea, or do we just implement them because it's tradition and we don't question it? Then nobody would fucking do it. So what, you're telling me that these game devs all realized how unfun being a normal zombie is and just decided, oh yeah, just put in the game anyways, these players sure do love running around spam clicking and dying over and over. The Skull Champion mechanic is a band-aid fix for a decade-old problem. The zombie team is dumb and stupid and nobody wants to play on it. They're helpless and can't get kills for the longest time. They throw themselves at the humans helplessly over and over but to no avail. And then, suddenly, a big buff 7-foot man comes out of nowhere and destroys all the humans from the inside out. The issue of the zombie team being helpless is kind of a flaw with the entire Roblox zombie horde genre as a whole. A big problem with it is that while you try to gain progression towards new stuff and guns as a human, you really don't gain that much as a zombie. Also, most zombie games, like I said, make their zombies super weak and submissive towards the humans. Getting a zombie is basically like a fault or a freeze on your progress. Reason to Die and Mutation have sort of a remedy to this, but the problem still stands. In Reason to Die Awakening, the zombie roster could seriously mess the humans up. The Electric Elemental and the Brute could easily solo a human if they weren't properly equipped. However, like I said, it was super easy to spawn kill them. The Skull Champion could wipe an entire squad out, but you could just vote kick the Skull Champion, or use a shed, or lag their game out with explosions. Also, if you hate Electric Elementals, then you could just make a VIP server and disable glass shards. In case you didn't know, Elementals must be 100 HP in order to change their form. The easiest way to get it being running into glass shards. And if those are disabled, it's a little bit more painful to get there. Mutation has a lot of cool mutations, but the vast majority of people would prefer not to play zombie at all. The super mutations are actually not the stereotype that you think that they are. They're actually pretty weak by themselves and are by no means a guaranteed victory at all. But if you're looking beyond mutation, aka the majority of Roblox zombie games, There lies much more damning examples. The Undead Coming 2021 is exactly what I said about it, and my opinion hasn't changed because this game is dead. But seriously though, the tank literally, in the game's words, spawned when the zombie team is losing. And is capable of completely rocking the human team's shit unless they have people who have good guns unlocked. Like, if you're using a crappy gun, you stand literally no chance against this bullet sponge. Also, the game recently was sold off to a new game developer, so who knows, this game might come back. Left 4 Survival has changed a little bit from the last time I played it, as in like, several years ago. I remember back then the tank thing used to be pretty oppressive because the servers were full of mobile players and noobs. Nowadays it doesn't seem to be as bad, but it still retains the bullet sponge big buff guy qualities the tank has always had. In a Reason to Die Classic Edition, the tank is only good for crushing new players and can be easily shredded by a high level because they have stuff like the FAMAS and the minigun and the turrets. Just like the original. So yeah, in conclusion, the Skull Champion is not your enemy at all. It's the overuse of dated mechanics and just overall flaws with the humans versus zombie genre as a whole. Humans are really fun to play and super powerful. Zombies are submissive and weak and die over and over again. So the game throws them a bone and gives them a big man who doesn't die instantly upon spawning. Like I said, it's been done to death almost as much as the addition of default zombies. And I can only see this dead horse continue to be beaten until it turns into a zombie itself. All that I'm waiting on at this point is for Guts and Black Powder to add a tank. Don't blame the Skull Champion in R2DA. Blame the game that managed to make the Brute not seem threatening enough. Honestly, the Skull Champion never bothered me too much. It was just the spawn killing that seemed to annoy the fuck out of most people. And unless you were the one doing it. And I don't think that this matters, but I'll say it anyways. I never prestiged, I never owned the Tri-Blaster or the China Lake, and I never shed farmed. Nor did I use blue stacks to get free aimbot. I'm only adding this because people like to think that I was an R2DA cocksucker, when in reality I was just a casual player. Like, okay people, Jesus Christ, I was just explaining why R2DA had 900 players and Dead Slate had 10. If you want to accuse me of dick riding any game in Roblox, you should be looking elsewhere. Anyways, thank you for watching my video. I'm Breadian. I play and review Roblox games. Specifically, Roblox zombie games and horror games. Really niche ones that nobody knows. So yeah, this video will probably rely on people sharing it, liking it, and subscribing, so yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
You know what? I'm gonna touch him. Oh, he touched him for me.
I wanted to see.
You want?
I guess that's what happens to touch him. No fish commit hashtag trans rights. Actually, let's throw something at him. I'll throw.
You don't throw, you just delete, you know.
Oh my god.
Oh, you fucking idiot.
Brad, did you die?
Oh, I'm running away.
Oh. Oh,
Oh hell no. Oh fuck.
Run, Brad, run.